Woo! Hey, it's Spark of Madness. This is going to be an awesome episode. Hey, I'm Matt. That's Ben over there, and that's Aaron.
Hey, I got it right for like the first time in weeks.
Yeah. We're ready. And
I have 75 mixer buttons.
This has been an episode long in the making. But before we get to that, just real quick housekeeping thing. Next week, we are going to do a normal podcast. We're going to do Godzilla, which King of the Monsters, the new one. Looks awesome.
Was that a Godzilla sound?
It was an attempt.
You know what? I'm going to give you full credit.
Yeah. Work on that next week. But next week, the bigger news for next week is that we are going to be at Indianapolis PopCon all weekend. June 7th through the 9th. Friday through Sunday. And Friday is the PopCon Awards.
Which we're
for
going to win.
The podcast awards, which you can't vote yet. I suspect the voting will be up on Monday, but we'll just follow our pages, follow everything, and we'll share out how you could go and support
We'll send you the algorithm that will make us count a million times.
And Russia, if you're listening.
China?
Yeah.
That guy in his basement?
Yeah.
We could use some election interference here.
Yes, we could. Because last year...
collusion.
Last year, I think we got second place, and... I'm going to say there was a little bit of collusion behind the scenes. Nothing to prove that.
You
but
wouldn't say that.
You know what?
We were kind of like Jafar.
We're calling it. There was collusion.
Second bond, second place.
Well, this year we're taking them down. And so we need everybody's help. But we're going to be there the whole weekend. We got some really fun stuff. We'll announce more of that next week.
All right.
But let's go ahead and get to the movie. Let's skip all the other draft stuff. If you really want to know how our competitions go, you can follow on our Patreon. But let's get to the movies. So,
all right.
This week, we're doing, I guess it's a showdown, but 1992's Aladdin versus the Aladdin that just came out.
I tried to incorporate both movies in that graphic, but do you know how busy it was? Mm-hmm. Entirely. Mm-hmm. It was entirely busy.
We both went. Mm-hmm.
Basically, this is the new Aladdin, but we're going to do a lot of comparing of the old Aladdin.
Yeah, because it's inevitable.
I've heard some pronunciations of it called Aladdin.
Yeah, it's Aladdin.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's not even a joke.
Oh. No, that is absolutely true.
Would you call me Al or maybe just Dan? How about Laddie? Here, boy.
Perfect.
Here we go.
I think it's time.
All right. So we're going to do something different. I'm going to try to read the synopsis after. This is going to be hard.
Clean synopsis.
Here we go.
Go.
2019's Aladdin is a remake of the 1992 Disney animated classic about a street rat, Aladdin, played by Mena Massoud, who frees the genie, Will Smith, from a lamp, granting him 3 wishes and transforming himself into the charming prince in order to marry the beautiful princess Jasmine, played by Naomi Scott.
Woo woo. Yeah.
But an evil sorcerer, Jafar, played by Marwan Gansari, has also become hell-bent on securing the lamp for his own sinister purpose. Aladdin was directed by Guy Ritchie, known most recently for King Arthur's 2017's King Arthur movie, the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes films, which had no mystery to solve, and then the crime comedies Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, and Snatch. Snatch is a good movie.
Snatch is good.
It's a good movie.
So is Lock, Stock.
I had never seen Lock,
it's
Stock. Whereas the original film was the highest-grossing movie of 1992 and earned 2 Academy Awards for its music, 2019 Aladdin received mostly mixed reviews. A 58% right now on Rotten Tomatoes, but impressed at the box office with over $85 million earned in its opening weekend.
I think it's important to note that the audience scores are way better for this movie than the critic scores.
Yeah, it's one of those that has an interesting divide between the scores. But it'll be interesting to talk about. If you're new to our podcast, at the very end, we'll give you our rating. And I would definitely stick around for the end of this one.
We've got something.
We've got something in the works. But let's talk about this. We're going to go about this a little bit more methodically because, just in general, but especially because you two, I don't want to, not just from the movies, but you guys did an entire series on Game Sharks of the Aladdin game, and within
both Aladdin games,
you revealed just your passion behind everything, right?
Oh, Aladdin is
the movie.
No contest my favorite Disney movie.
What about you, Ben?
As a little kid, it was my favorite. So there's a lot of nostalgic for me. So
Ben, what is it now?
I think Beauty and the Beast is a really well constructed narrative that was good for Best Picture. The only first first cartoon.
Ben, I need to know what your favorite is now.
Oh God, Monsters Incorporated.
That's not a Disney movie.
Oh, God.
It doesn't count.
Cars 2.
A Goofy movie.
A Goofy movie is a good choice.
It's not bad.
No, Aladdin.
get one of
Aladdin
these
the
going.
classics. Aladdin is probably.
You
You can't tell by the way I walk.
Yeah. I'm actually with you. I think a lot of people from our maybe just
I think
the
it's
timing of it.
because you got to think of this. As a little boy growing up in the 90s,
Yeah.
you had Little Mermaid, yeah, it's a good movie. Beauty and the Beast, yeah, it's a good movie. All girly stuff. Aladdin came out, that was your Disney
Yeah.
musical.
Yeah,
Because
at
Aladdin
the
you can
time.
relate to.
Because
Robin
Aladdin is not
Williams-
explicitly girly or boy-y.
No, it was great. Now, before that, there was The Great Mouse Detective, which was a good movie, but Oliver and Company was terrible. Rescuers Down Under was good.
I was about to ask, what are your thoughts on that one? Because I
That one's amazingly animated. That was a start.
Absolute.
People think that it was Little Mermaid that started it all. It was actually
No.
Rescuers started the new wave of animation.
incorporating computer graphics, you mean?
Well, no, like just the detailed
Sure.
dimensions that they created for animation.
Of
like,
course.
they were that was the beginning of the Renaissance.
Well, for me, Aladdin was the beginning of my Disney changeover. Like that. Like,
did you see it in
there's
the
a
theaters?
clear split.
Did you see it in theaters?
No. I was 4.
saw it in theaters. I remember the advertisement.
I remember pooping my pants with excitement.
There's one really cool poster that I want. Like, there's one epic Aladdin poster. I
Yep.
did poop my pants in excitement.
Yep.
I just
I'm going
remember.
on record.
I remember during like I think it came out around Christmas time because I remember like they did an advertising with the genie with a Christmas hat at one point. So
Yeah.
it was a big.
It was a
movie.
huge movie. It's the
Yeah.
highest grossing movie. As you just said.
Is
It's
it
not highest grossing movie of that year? Yeah.
Was it? Did
So-
it do bigger than Beauty and the Beast? Did you know that?
I would imagine yes,
You do?
but I don't know. I don't know if for inflation
Beauty and
or
the
whatever,
Beast is
but
good, but it pales in comparison to this.
They're different.
they're different movies.
Yeah.
Different movies.
If I had to compare
Both
them.
great. Both great. All right, let's start. So I think the first thing to start with, and then it'll like kind of unlock the rest of the kind of little topics we'll use to compare the two movies. But first off is like kind of the writing. Both stories are similar, and I've seen people say it's kind of like a shot-for-shot remake, but actually,
It's not.
Watching both of them back,
It's not Psycho,
there's a decent amount of changes between the two,
And some of them were good.
and most
so-
of them are bad.
Let me ask you, what did you think of the new movie in terms of how it was structured, written, dialogue, pace, like all of that side of things?
I thought it sucked.
Well,
I did.
structurally, well, let's get this out of the way. The first, hold on, I'm adjusting your chroma key.
Chroma Key.
Let's
thank you.
Brought
let's
to you
get
by
this
Chroma
out of the
Key.
way. I thought the first 30
Spark of
minutes
Madness brought to you by Chroma Key.
Yes.
by chroma key. I thought the first 30 minutes were absolutely boring. Okay,
Yes.
I
Even-
was about to check out.
Even
Well,
when they
so-
skip the montage, so they skip the montage like of them, like Jafar and setting up the characters. They just jump right into it, but yet it felt longer.
So the let's do spoilers.
They don't set
They
up
bas-
characters well.
They basically skip from the first movie. They basically skip.
Salam and good evening.
Well, yeah, they skip that, but they skip like setting up Aladdin as a legitimate street rat
Yeah.
character and
And set up
his
Jasmine
place
and Jasmine's frustrations. They did that. They set that up later.
We'll
But-
get to Jasmine and well, yeah.
We're talking
go
about the
ahead.
beginning.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so they don't set up that. They don't set up Jafar's.
Jafar especially though.
Jafar's like he's just in there. If this movie, the problem with these Disney movies and most movies today, that are especially remakes, mostly remakes, is that they know that the source, like everybody's seen the original.
Yeah,
So they're like,
yeah, you get it.
we don't have to make it a complete movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, well, make
That's
it
a
complete.
critical error.
It is. I think you make it a movie stand by itself, and that the original didn't exist, so none of us knows what's happening. Because if you just watch that movie not knowing,
If you're gonna do a remake, do
like,
it
who's
all
that-
the way.
Like you watch the beginning, like what happened? But we know the nostalgia of it.
yeah,
and
we
know
don't
what
hate
happened.
remakes
Well,
just
so
because they're remakes. They
here's-
just usually stink.
Here's actually
Yeah.
one of the big differences I was going to call out was actually the diamond in the rough thing, which I
They never even said
actually
anything about.
kind of forgot about it. Was that in the new movie, they basically, I don't think either movie actually does this particularly well, but I do think the original does it better.
Yeah.
In the original, Jafar needs to find the person who is worthy to go down there. right? And like so that one guy just immediately clamped
Which is really disturbing as a kid when you watch it.
and so like no,
Really
you have
dark.
to be of a certain worthiness to go down there. And so then there's this like kind of weird like I get the diamond and put it on this thing and
It's like Thor's hammer.
wicked witches and sees that it's Aladdin.
But I like that though. I like that because he's kind of a sorcerer. He's like
Right.
and
that's
we know that he does
and that's
sorcery, but he's not. That's why he knows where the Cape of Wonder is.
Right.
And
let's talk about characters a little bit more specifically in just a second. But the thing about in the new movie that they did was basically it seems like Jafar's just trial and erroring people going down there.
Yeah.
There's like a news headline: people disappearing all over Agrabah.
And it's essentially the success or failure of people's missions. My impression was that they kept trying to take treasure. It had nothing to do with worthiness whatsoever. They stripped that out of it. What did you guys get that feeling too? Or?
Not really.
No,
it felt more or less the same to me.
I think it's the
Oh
same
really?
thing. Yeah.
Oh, I thought they didn't set it up ever.
One
though.
problem was this. One thing I love about the original is that the Cape of Wonder is so hard to find that you have to have the two little beetle things to even open it
does
up.
add like
it's
a
in the middle of the
element
desert.
of mystery.
it makes it seem like a journey
magic.
instead of just trekking over to the shop.
You're like, oh, there it is.
You literally start with it.
Yeah. Well, also it's like there's a big cave with a lion on it, or a tiger on it.
And people aren't flocking to this place?
No, that's not hard to find. But you know what is hard to find? A cave in the middle of the cave in the middle of the desert that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Right. It's under the sand.
That also
Brilliant
collapses every time. Yeah.
Brilliant writing.
Yeah. So I think we can all agree that this was a miss. Especially the mystique of where the lamp even is.
It
right?
was very matter of fact.
That's fine. I mean,
It's okay, but it missed its sense of being wondrous. It is the Cave of Wonders.
So if that's our setup into the
because when they set up Jafar at the very beginning of the original, it's like it's so sinister. I love it. They set him up perfectly.
Let's go ahead and lump in characters here with writing a little. No, let's go ahead and do it because I think it'll naturally weave into the flow of the movie.
Okay.
So Jafar, I totally agree. I think he was in the new movie bland.
He was
Just
anemic.
he was just nothing.
He was handsome.
And that was it.
I want to kiss him.
I think
He was by far just blanket statement.
I think
he was by far my least favorite part of the movie.
I think part of his character, me too. Now that I think, I kind of liked him at the beginning, but I liked some of his motives that they wrote for him. I don't like the actor, and I don't like most of the writing for him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
he had a little bit more like clear political power intrigue,
Yeah.
whereas in the original, though, he was
Metro.
like he was kind of. The idea that he's a
Yeah,
sorcerer adds this like creepy evilness to him. Yeah.
He was too young. He needed to be an older, like,
Well, that's the problem.
Yeah.
With
dirty
these,
lich.
That's the problem with these movies now. Is like you find the prettiest people and put them in movies. Like, well, no, we need like that was part of the wonderful things about the original Disney cartoons is they had these character actors that would play certain character like voices of them that were brilliant. People that wouldn't normally be in movies, but like they're doing it all wrong.
Well,
not everybody can be Will Smith.
well, like
No,
but like
But even he wasn't that perfectly.
So
cast. He's handsome and pretty too.
let's kind of talk about Jafar versus the original, but also how it impacted the new movie. So, for one,
He's a street rat.
the staff stuff of him hypnotizing fell totally flat for me in the new movie. Totally flat.
It was only included because they wanted people to be like, I remember that.
remember.
In the original, there was that good misdirect of him tricking Aladdin, tricking Jasmine to tell her that Aladdin was dead, like accidentally, like, oh, we killed him because, that's a pretty dark angle to take that this movie completely avoided. That in in this movie, it's essentially like just him kind of like, who's this Aladdin character? Oh, he must have the lamp, and that, like, it feels just very
The one thing I did like is like him thinking, oh, he must have the lamp because he did see him with the carpet, and we didn't see he didn't come in as Prince Ali in the carpet right away, which I thought, oh
Yeah.
and so he put two together. Jafar was like, he must be the street rat because he has that magic carpet that I saw him flying on.
But
that was okay.
They tried to, and I think this was, and we can talk about Jasmine right after this because I think they're kind of interconnected. That in the original, Jafar is almost purely maybe not just pure evil, but he's essentially
He's
like
a mustache
he's a
twirler.
caricature.
But he's so funny.
But it all works, and it's in this one they're trying to like maybe add gray area that like he thinks he knows best.
He
and
was
stuff,
wronged.
But,
Jafar needs to be over the top chewing the scenery.
yeah,
That's all it needs to be.
yeah.
It could be like Jeremy Irons or somebody. Like you could have anybody play Jafar. Actually, Jeremy Irons should play Scar.
Yeah.
Which I think is a big mistake. But like there's any there's you can pick out any character Arabian descent actor that could play him. That's older. You know what I mean? That'd be really good.
Probably
or like,
better.
or even like the scene where he dresses up like the guy in the prison that tricks Aladdin into going
that's
out
not even
there.
there.
Like that's
Gone.
a scene that you should have had.
That was a good
That's a scene
scene.
to carry over.
But you know why they don't have it? Because this guy has
Because
no
he's not a
charisma.
source.
He has no charisma either.
Well, it's
this
also-
actor has no like this. There's no like he has no charisma.
Well-
Couldn't play two different people.
Well, yes, but I also think this movie fell under the box. They were put into the box of like trying to be realistic, and so in this case, in a movie about finding a magic lamp and a genie, somehow it was like. It seemed to me like it's too far-fetched to also have this other character that can like dress up and be a sorcerer. It's like
Hold the phone.
no,
Matt.
the only like mystical thing we can have is the lamp and the carpet.
Matt, stop for a moment, please. The movie needs to be realistic, but we have a musical number where Jasmine slows down time and touches people and makes them disappear. What's that about?
I don't disagree that it's contradictory. I'm just
Okay.
saying that like why
Don't
would
kill
you
the
remove
messenger.
that? Yeah, why would you remove that thing?
There's a giant parrot. This parrot cease to be a regular parrot.
I think actually
a giant parrot, Matt.
that was ridiculous. That was ridiculous. That was probably the most
Take your
ridiculous
poison, a
part.
giant snake or a giant parrot. Yeah. Affleck.
That's where they should have pulled in Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah.
It's when he goes super
Right.
parrot.
No, I mean,
Gilbert Gottfried with a pitch down effect. That would be interesting.
Jafar. Autobots, transform and get that lamp.
Get us back on track, Matt.
Jasmine. So let's talk about Jasmine as a
Okay.
character, as part of it.
Focus. She was great.
Let's talk about
Yeah,
her.
she was good.
Yeah, she's a good actress.
Like
For what she was given, she did the best she can. She was the bad writing of these characters. She did the best she can. I think everybody did the best they can. Except for Jafar, he
for
just
what
sucks.
it's worth, I thought she was one of the better parts of the movie.
Yeah.
Like it could have gone way worse with what the script was doing. Like
Her
when,
voice wasn't too auto-tuned.
I think she's actually a pretty good singer.
Yeah.
Like, that was actually, yeah.
She's not like what. Have you seen the Beauty and the Beast?
No.
Beauty and the Beast is worse.
Okay.
Yeah, you should have saw Beauty and the Beast.
I'm good. What were you going to say, Aaron? She was
I-
one of the better parts of the movie. I
well,
think is
one
what
of the
you're
better
saying.
parts, they gave her something to do in the movie. Like in the original, it's more Aladdin centric, and the other
Totally.
characters were more like window dressings.
Yep.
And in this one, they give her more of a plot line. She wants to be Sultan, and that could have gone really bad, but it didn't.
True, but the original she did she wanted more to be objectified in the original. I'm not surprised to be wanted.
Yeah.
So that she did have
But
something.
she was totally a prize to be won at the end.
You're right, but what they did is they took that and took another level to it. So it wasn't a 180. It was just
I
like
don't have a problem with her depiction in the original, but this one is a little more rounded out.
I mean,
Yeah, I guess.
I think the best thing, I totally agree with you. I think the best thing about this movie is what they did with Jasmine. Especially
Actually, no. My favorite thing that they changed was that the Sultan tries to bump Jafar off the ledge when he's tied up. Because the Sultan was
Sultan was
useless
such
in the
a
first movie.
Little dweeby wimp, yeah.
But that's the
But
way
it
he's
is funny.
characterized, and it's funny.
He's stupid
Yeah.
and funny.
But if they're going for
Jafar.
realism, the dad actually has a pair in this movie.
Yeah.
So did you remember as a kid? Did you guys any of you watch the Disney animated series of Aladdin?
Yes.
It was actually pretty good.
For the most part, some of it stank.
It did, but they went and dived more in these characters. There was original voice actors other than Robin Williams.
George Costanza playing
as Abysmal.
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 I didn't get
No
that pun until I was
way.
older.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, but they went and told more mythology, and I think there's probably more of the Arabian Nights tales in there, which is it's called 1001
yeah.
Nights.
Can I say something real quick and just get it out of the way?
Well, one thing first about Arabian Nights, it was actually Arabian Night when he was singing Arabian Night.
Oh my gosh.
First one, big mistake.
Is this Inception? Anyway,
What were you gonna say?
Big.
I'm just going to get this out of the way.
Bigly.
Bigly,
Yeah. Go ahead.
huge hands.
If we were going to do another adaptation of Aladdin, I would have preferred a more straight, back to the source material Aladdin.
but that would not make Disney money.
I know, but it would have been interesting. That's all I'm saying.
but that's stupid.
Yep.
It's smart
What
and
I want is
artistic.
usually the wrong thing.
Well, what
know.
I want is, I agree with you.
Well, some
the new-
people
the
are
new-
saying that. Some people, and maybe this isn't where you're going, but I think it's kind of over the top. But I do think this was an opportunity. I don't know. This feels
cash grab.
It feels right in line with what all of the other Disney live actions are, where it's tethered to the source material. We'll try a couple things, but it's really not going to do too much, and it just becomes kind of like this muddied mess a little bit.
It's just like, oh, this is just a fun little replica to watch. That's something slightly different than the original. One thing, like, so to your point, Aaron, about taking something and making it different. I bet you're both excited for what's his name's Del Toro's
extremely
Pinocchio.
excited.
I didn't even know
Extremely
that was a
He's
thing.
doing Pinocchio. He might
That
go
sounds
closer to the
great.
source material.
That
It's
sounds
gonna be
amazing.
dark.
Yeah.
He's going to do a complete different direction on it,
And there's going to be a fish man.
which I think,
Doug
probably,
Jones, yeah.
I'm a real fish.
It's like when he goes down, it's going to be.
It's Doug Jones, right?
Yeah, Doug Jones.
Doug Jones is going to play the whale.
He's like,
I've always been impressed that you could do that noise.
Yeah, I don't know how you can do that.
I don't know how.
It's
I
a
did it.
tongue vibration. Matt,
Should somebody give you CPR? Are you okay?
if you get some water in your mouth, you can do it pretty easily.
That was funny in Hot Shots, the movie, when they're taking the guy in the lake, and you hear bubbles come out.
All right. I'm just gonna fire off three. I'm gonna fire off 3 or 4 things, and I just want you to respond to all of them at the end, but just to push us.
Fire
Okay.
him out. Round.
Nassim Pedrad as the handmaiden in the new movie. Great addition.
Fun.
Yes.
Will Smith was 80% of Robin Williams' character.
No.
I would.
We'll get back to it.
Oh.
The music, I'm gonna say this: the two of the big showstopper songs, "You Never Had a Friend Like Me" and his Prince Ali's entrance with the elephants and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I thought both of those were better in the new one.
Okay.
And,
we come back to these.
No. Let's just do those 3.
Okay, so I
Those
think
3.
okay, I agree with you. The actual orchestration and arrangement of this,
Just those 2. I'm just talking about just those 2.
The whole thing, the actual arrangement and orchestration were awesome.
It did feel like
The
just
voices were not
genuinely more modern, but
well, there was some cool. Like,
overall,
it was
though,
big.
yeah, it felt bigger.
It felt big, and the original
totally.
felt big. So it felt
This was
bigger.
bigger.
Well, it's my complaint about Les Miserables when they did Les Miserables, because the musical itself sounds bigger than the movie because the direction they went on it. And I wish they would have had a bigger orchestra in Les Miserables because it's an epic musical.
Yeah.
So the orchestration and arrangement were huge. I even like the way they introduced my favorite song of the whole thing is Prince Ali. I love that song.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. But the voices were inferior.
that was what I was going
That's
to
the
say.
biggest.
I love the orchestration, but
where I will disagree is on. I actually think Will Smith's songs are better. I don't know if you're just referencing.
No. I think Robin Williams are superior.
Oh no. I disagree on that one song. But go ahead, Aaron.
I'll explain. I think the orchestration is bigger, sure, but there's something very unique and fun about Robin Williams' singing.
Oh gosh.
Well, yeah, he does all these different voices and stuff,
And that's what
kinda
makes
all
it.
But
over
it's
the place.
so much
Yeah.
fun, and he's a better singer than Will Smith.
No.
Oh yeah, Will Smith is auto.
He's a great singer.
Yeah, he is.
Yes.
What does the audience say? If there is an audience.
We have one comment that says, "For me, it's Aladdin." That's all. So we'll just
Like a
keep-
prince.
Yeah.
Being yourself.
Did you know that when my dad used to drop me off at school when I was in elementary school, he would stop me before I get out of the car and he'd be like, "Remember, be yourself."
I did know that, Aaron. Yes.
Yeah, we've been friends for like 12 years. So
No, I actually didn't know that.
Oh,
I
well.
was being a jerk.
Let's talk about Will.
Thanks, buddy.
Let's talk about Will Smith versus Robin Williams. So I do think he was 80% there. I actually think and the gap though, I don't think
it's a power gap.
The gap there is made up in two things for me. It's that there is so much improvisational things that Robin Williams does just naturally that they also captured in the animation that they
let him riff.
couldn't
They
do.
let him riff. They let him
They
riff.
didn't do in the new movie. And the other part is
Let Will Smith be.
Will Smith's character basically just dies for the last 20 minutes. Like, just personality wise is gone.
So what I think-
Robin Williams' character feels consistent as the genie. He's still like remorseful of what he's doing and stuff.
So,
and it's so expressive. Will Smith just disappears kind of.
He does, but here's the problem. They make him big and blue and muscular and whatever. Just make him regular Will Smith that's blue. Like make him a real actor that's blue, and then because when he turns to like human form, he was better.
Yeah,
he was more natural
that's
and
true.
better. It's like just do that and make him Will Smith. Just be Will Smith. But don't make him do Rob Williams stuff.
So
do Will Smith stuff and make it a completely different character. And that would have been better.
What do you think, Aaron?
Now, I remember months ago when the first trailer came out and we were all laughing at it.
I think
I am on
short. Yeah.
I am on record as having said during those days, it's funny how bad this looks right now, but I have a feeling he's going to impress me. And for the most part, he did. And he had his own little jokes that we all thought were really funny.
He's the best part of the movie.
Yeah, absolutely. The only reason
Totally.
to see this movie is Will Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was pleasantly surprised with his performance.
And the art direction's pretty good.
And they gave him a love arc. That's cool.
They did.
And that's why I was
think his
asking about
performance
Nassim
is.
Pedrad,
Well,
yeah.
I think his performance is fine. I think what stifled it was he looks so like just make him a real human guy, and somehow incorporate that because he couldn't be himself because he's like we only got this to move.
I'm gonna disagree with you for like the first time in ever, Ben. We usually agree on this sort of stuff. I liked what they did with his blue form.
I thought
don't
it was
mind.
pretty good
no,
too.
I don't think it looks bad. I think it looks good. I'm not complaining about the CGI.
So you just wanted to remove him more from Robin Williams.
I think remove him more from Robin Williams, go a complete different direction, and make him Will Smith, and make him take the chains off so he can be himself, be like funny Will Smith stuff.
That's the end of the movie. He stops being a genie.
Yeah, but like when he was a human form, you could tell like I had the freedom to be more my humor and more my stuff when I'm interacting with these actors and stuff. When there's no CGI,
It's true. His sense of humor was a little different when he's in human form.
Better.
It was very funny
better,
when he was
and
himself.
you're more connected to it. So I think the only I don't care about the big blue thing. The big blue. That was not intended.
Blue
but
thing.
I just think they could have you can still make him blue. Just don't make him a big CGI guy that's stiff,
Well, and to your point, like
so he can be himself. Just from the performance, nothing
Because Will
about.
Smith already has what it takes.
It wasn't the uncanny valley or anything like that that bothered me. If it was fine, I just think it would have been better. Just
well, and I think
express
that gets to him like crushing the character. Like, I mean, he did a great job in this movie. And to your point, he did a great job when he was just being a normal his normal self. I think what really influenced, I think one of the better things they added to the new movie was Nassim Pedrad's role as the handmaid friend, because I thought she was hysterical. I thought that whole little dynamic was just like a little good flavor to add in. That also
Wow, something I didn't know was going to happen.
now the thing about the thing that you sacrifice there is Jasmine's. Well, maybe not sacrifice, but the direction they kind of went with it was they sacrificed Jasmine being cooped up and alone all the time in this like princess locked in a tower, which I liked.
which is fine because they couldn't really
I like that they didn't do that.
Before she had a tiger that was more cartoony that she could talk to.
Well, so
She was talking to Frank Welker all the time. So
As Abu or the tiger.
Abu was drastically worse in the new movie, but they put him. They get rid of her being locked away in the tower type of thing and have her have a friend, and then they bring in the angle of her wanting to be sultan and like much more dynamic of a character. My biggest qualm there, we haven't even talked about Aladdin. My biggest qualm though with
no
her
point.
is so they added those they kind of bookended it, but really it was all kind of one song. Was the like I'm not going to be speechless or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought the song was great. The second one, like, it was stupid. The visual part of it was
the song is
stupid.
great, but I don't remember it.
The song though was good. Maybe it was more the lyrics and the meaning behind
Yeah.
it. But they did not. I don't think they set it up super well.
And they do it twice.
Personally, I don't think they set up her character being this person that was. Maybe it was just kind of this general implied thing, kind of what we were talking about to the start of the movie of, well, Jasmine's just kind of stifled and alone and stuff. But this movie didn't set it up as her opinion doesn't matter or anything.
Yeah,
I felt like the Sultan was mostly listening, but I don't know.
It was
Am
very
I wrong
soft.
about
no,
this?
No, it was very soft in this movie. They just expect you to know. Whereas in the first movie,
I almost wanted it to be called like I've seen this couple, like I would have rather, because Aladdin was so disinteresting, I would have preferred them focus more time on Jasmine actually.
No, but instead they focus more on jam. Jam, man.
A lot of jam jokes.
there was a lot of jam.
And,
Lot
that,
of
and that wasn't
And
funny.
they really went to that well.
More
I know,
jam than a
but
Bob
it's
Marley
like,
record.
It's like, could we written something different or do another ad lib?
More jam.
We got some jam.
Guy
This
Ritchie's
jam
on the
thing's-
set. He's got like 10 pages of jam
He's
jokes.
like, I got a good idea. Sniffing jam. You know?
More blackberry.
Mainlining it.
Oh. Was there curry in that?
Anybody got boysenberry?
Jelly jam.
At one point, I think I interrupted you, Aaron. I don't remember what you're. We were
I
talking
don't
about,
either. I'm thinking about jam now. It was about
Jam.
We were talking about Jasmine at that time.
Yeah.
Jam.
the original movie so effortlessly sets up Jasmine's character, and it does it in a super short amount of time. It
Writing.
was amazing.
Writing and
It
pacing.
sets up all of the characters that way.
In so little
and
time.
Which is
well, and
great
in that moment,
writing.
it built it by
And it's
doing
90
that,
minutes.
You can build them. That's the thing.
It's true. It's 90 minutes. This is like another hour.
It was not 2.5 hours.
Well, how much was it?
It was probably.
It was probably an hour 50.
2 hours.
2 hours.
Okay.
Um,
But that first half hour, man, that may as well be 2 hours.
we're gonna go over.
Even when they skipped everything.
I know.
know.
I know.
Nothing
We
to be
want to.
told.
I know we want to get to this because.
And why was Aladdin going off like with a lamp and shit?
That is exactly
So
what I was about
it was
to
like,
bring
well,
up.
the plot needs Jafar to get it, and we can't have Iago dressed up as a parrot,
dressed up as a parrot?
or dressed
A
up
flamingo?
as a flamingo to get it. So we'll just have him walk through the crowd.
That's the
and then,
biggest
you
missing
got it.
element from this movie is you got a problem, Pinky.
Yeah.
Yep.
What was
Gotta
your
say.
problem?
Biggest miss. No, that actually wasn't the problem I was talking about.
Oh,
Okay, we have a comment from our good buddy Shin Naraku. There's only one person who would dare give me the jam.
Lone Star. Thank you.
Kudos.
The biggest thing, and I remember you talking about it after the movie, Ben, was the pledge to the genie from Aladdin.
Yeah.
Is totally different between the two movies.
It's forced.
Which to me gets back to the whole idea of this worthiness and like integrity character side of things that I don't think either movie did well with the Cave of Wonders, but the original movie, Aladdin has character all the way through. And that's what makes him
Yeah, and
as a character
and he does-
different.
and he
And
does-
he never is going to question freeing the genie. And they even set it up a couple times with little bits of dialogue, like "I gotta get back. I should have freed the genie. I should have done that."
And well, he did question it a little bit in the original, but it was in a sincere way. Like, I don't know if I can. Like, he's in a rock and a hard place. You know what I mean?
What do you mean? Or what part? I don't think I
There was
watched it last
there's
night.
the
I don't.
part where he says like, I can't use I can't. I'm not gonna wish you free just yet. Something like that.
Maybe I don't remember.
But,
I just rewatched it, but it feels pretty consistent.
There's a big plot hole in that one. It's like, well, can't you wish yourself to be a prince or someone else wish like you can? Hey, everybody in this group, I'll give you the lamp. You do this. We get all our stuff, and then whoever's last wish, you can free the genie.
Stop making sense, Ben.
You know.
Well, but in this one, he just I don't know. This movie felt like Aladdin was kind of.
He was along for the ride.
He was like a bad Xerox copy of the original that
The
then it
Xerox
was like,
age of
you know
Disney.
what?
Are you knocking the Xerox era?
I like the lines.
I like the sketch lines.
I do. Like 101 Dalmatians wouldn't
No,
be the same.
he has the perfect Aladdin look, but none of the charm.
He has no charm. And like, what's his name from Full House had a lot of charm. He's the voice actor who played the
Are you
original.
talking?
Aladdin.
Oh, you mean you mean the kid? He also was Eric's best friend on Boy Meets World, I think.
I think you're right.
Yeah, good actor.
Yeah.
What else haven't we talked about yet? That you want to get to?
I think
Funniest joke in the movie. Go.
The rewind when
The theater rewind.
Yeah, the theater
that
rewind.
was-
He was like, "Oh yeah, I see what you're doing."
The monkey behind the back
clever.
trick.
that was funny.
That
and
was
that was
great.
more
And it was
the
very-
spirit of the original.
And it was in
different.
the spirit, but not a carbon copy.
Right.
Which is good, which they should have done more of that.
And you see the theater seats and everything. It was very
Close
wall-breaking.
second is the guy
Have you ever seen-
when he makes a prince.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good
Hey,
too. That
Y'all
was
see
good.
my castle?
Have you ever seen Gremlins 2?
No.
No, we talked
They
about
do
this.
that. They break the fourth wall
Yeah.
where Hulk Hogan is in
Sorry,
the theater.
folks. Flicks
Yeah.
Brewhouse.
Yeah.
They do that. It's Aaron
But
Trout.
that was the one part of the movie where the 3D actually enhanced the movie because the theater seats are coming in. It's like, whoa, I actually feel like I'm in these seats.
It's like Muppets 3D.
Yeah.
That was the only part that was worth the 3D.
Shinaraku says his favorite moment, funniest
When it
joke was when
ended.
it ended.
Oh my gosh.
Oof.
Harsh.
You know what? I'll watch it again in part just to hear some of the
I'll
stuff.
watch a compilation
I ain't
of all
gonna-
the genie scenes.
I'm not going to pay for it. I'll wait until it comes out on Disney Netflix and or download it.
Are you going to actually pay for Disney Netflix?
Someone will in my family, and I'll watch it. You kidding me? There's a lot of kids in my family.
Yeah.
You see, they got everything. See?
Yeah.
Why not just they own Hulu? Why not just use
All right.
Hulu?
You guys want to rate the movie?
Okay. Yeah,
let's
or
rate it.
move. Do you want to do both of them?
Let's rate. Yeah, we're not really doing a showdown, but yeah,
Let's
do
rate both
Let's do
the movies.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go.
Is it a split rating between film and how much we like it?
If you want.
Whatever you say.
Yeah. You go
Okay.
first, Aaron.
Because that would drastically affect my rating of the original. As a movie, the first Aladdin, it's not a perfect movie, but it's so charming that it can't help but be good. As a film, I would rate the original a 6, but my enjoyment is more of an 8. And on this new movie, while it has plenty to like about it, I would have to give it as just a straight up film. It's probably a 3. It's probably a 3.
What?
Not everybody needs to see this. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Are you having a stroke?
Yeah.
Oh.
Call the doctor. No, but since there were parts of it that I enjoyed so much, I will bump it up as an enjoyment rating to like a 5.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do you want to go?
that seems fair.
Sure, I'll go. The original's probably an 8 for me, but 10 when I was a kid
Absolutely. Nothing better.
because I loved it and I loved Robin Williams.
It was one of those movies you could watch over and over.
God, it was so good. It's so colorful.
Shockingly holds
It's-
up too.
It felt
Yeah.
huge and epic, and the stakes at the end were like things are happening. He's got to save Jasmine. She's drowning in the sand, and Boo's got this. And, like,
Big snake.
big snake, which they
Yeah.
got rid of for a big parrot. Yeah,
That maybe says
yeah.
everything.
And like in the middle of this, you have it's so this epic, well written thing, because they set up the characters. It's 90 minutes because you think, okay, animation. This has cost a lot of money to hand draw and all this stuff. So we got to really prep and write a really good story, which I think movies are missing good writing at the beginning. Even TV shows. as
And they're
we talked about.
spending millions more.
They're spending $1 million more because it's easier to do reshoots and stuff instead of having a really good product and spending time because they want to get it out as quick as possible.
Yep.
One big mistake about movies. And so they did make this beautiful art piece that's pretty well tight, and a much better movie. The new one.
But also, that's the thing, that it balances this weird zone of being a really tightly written script that also adds in now iconic songs that are like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes of the movie.
Absolutely, and
that
they-
also serve the plot and are memorable and like that's
It goes to show you, like, okay, so we know who Jafar is, we know who Jasmine, we know they establish all these characters fairly quickly.
yeah.
And we know about them. They're deep. They're more deep than these characters who are real humans.
I don't know if they're deeper. But
Oh, yes, they are.
I don't know if they're
oh,
deeper.
yes.
They're implied deeper, at
They
least.
are so much deeper. Without, like, there's so much more
I think they're
on.
more-
The performances are deeper. The writing, like, the little nuances they add is deeper. There's so much more going behind these characters' wants and
I don't
needs.
think they're very. I don't think they're rich. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go on.
I don't know if they're more complex. I think they are more. They're richer.
Well,
I don't know if those are.
Someone
there's a difference. To
I
me.
saw a review saying this.
They're richer, but not like it's not like they're multifaceted. They're still pretty much like I am this kind of character, but it's so well set up and
they're
engaging.
But they're not complex in the terms of there was someone who rated this perfectly. The original Aladdin was simple, but not complex, but a lot of things going on. Where new movies are sincere, simple, but a lot going on. But where the new movies are more shallow, I guess.
Okay.
So
Sure.
even though a character can be complex, it's not as. It's not-
Sometimes stripping it down makes it more interesting.
listen, in a performance, we don't have to know everything about this character's backstory to make them complex or not.
Yeah, sometimes
All it
to
is-
deepen them, just imply it.
Imply it, show it, like the show, and they emote more. Their emotion, they have more emotion and more. They emote more in the cartoon than they do in this movie. Even Jasmine with her stuff.
Even with less
It's
to
not that
do,
deep.
she's a more interesting character.
Yes, you can see there's a few lines and the way they set it up. It's because it's good writing.
Yep.
Anyway, so the new one, I give it a 5 because it's fun.
yeah.
I want
Not the worst Disney live action.
No, it's like just seeing like a different like a cover band of your favorite of your favorite band. It's like, oh, I remember that.
Oh, that front man.
Hey, a Pearl Jam cover band. They're all right.
Yeah. So it's fine. I mean, people want to see kids, they can see it. But
What was your
not
rating
the
for
same.
the new one
A 5
or the old one?
an 8, but probably a 10. Maybe I give the new one a 4.
If you stuck with 5, I think I would just like copy paste every single thing Ben just said as my opinion. Like it's exactly the same.
What?
This never happens, ladies and
I
gents.
know. Usually it's you two that are in agreement. I'm lock stop with you on this one.
Rock 'em. Stick that sword into that snake.
And I actually think you arrived at maybe the perfect comparison for it. Is that the new movie feels like a cover band, and
And it's not a great
I'm
cover
actually
band.
like that's the exact explanation I would give is that it kind of plays the hits, it does the things that it absolutely like. You know what? If you're gonna go to a cover band,
This ain't no Hendrix covering Bob Dylan, all right?
if you're gonna go to a cover band, they better get the like 2 or 3 main things,
Yeah.
or else they're dead in the water.
Yeah.
This does that, and where it struggles with compared to the original, I think, is both inherent in trying to what they're trying to do by making a live action version of their movies. I like Mulan. I have high confidence for because it's almost straight realistic, more like.
It's more adaptable.
Yeah, it's more adaptable.
When I-
This was kind of like pretty close to, but like, oh, geez, they still struggled with a lot of these things.
What I think that would be a good adaptation for a Disney musical or Disney movie would be the non-musical ones,
Yeah,
because then you can do whatever you want.
true.
You know what I mean? Because
Maybe,
because
but-
we're so identifiable by the music.
See, even then, I'm
but
like,
like
if they
so-
went with a different direction with this, I
That's true, but you know what? You're right. You know what would be a good one? Sword in the Stone. I love
I
that
wanna
cartoon.
see that.
Sword in the Stone. That's
wanna
be a great
see
Disney
that,
musical.
man.
You can make it so funny, and it's based off good source material.
the biggest issue, and I think we touched on it earlier, was that they're in this middle ground where they feel like they need to do new things, but also are tethered to the past.
Or just do something new.
And so
Don't have to
either
do
do something
craziness.
brand new or do it. I don't know, but like they did some really great things. Will Smith's character I think was really great. They added a couple lines, and he also didn't just do. It wasn't just a Robin Williams.
He wasn't doing a Williams
Yeah.
impression.
No.
That was the important
It was
part.
Will Smith, and he did a great job. He was the best part of the movie.
Hands down.
Yeah, you're right. Best part. I thought what they did with Jasmine was great.
Yes.
I love the end dancing.
Character wise,
Yeah.
the rest of the stuff was pretty bad. They nailed the 2 big songs, but otherwise, yeah, I think it's worth seeing. That's why it's a 5. But I wouldn't like go gangbusters about like this is one of some
And I
great
think
movie.
I'm afraid Lion King's going to be the same thing, but better.
I think
bet-
Lion
Better?
King's gonna be worse. Actually,
You think because it's a
personally.
carbon.
No,
copy.
I think what makes this movie palatable is that you don't have the uncanny valley. I'm gonna have some serious why is that realistic lion's mouth moving that way, and why is Seth Rogen's mouth coming out of that gross warthog thing?
Pumbaa's high the whole time.
Hey guys, I'm so high.
The Pineapple Express with a warthog.
I have one final thought on this movie.
Go.
Hot take.
What's so important about the original movie is that it is so cross-generation. Kids and adults love it. I don't think it's going to be the same for this newer one. I don't think it's very kiddie at all. Like 4 or 5-year-olds aren't going to like it that much.
But somehow also not adult. Yeah, they stripped out all the legitimate I was just looking at it.
Yeah.
It's straddling so far that it's doing the splits.
The sand part. Imagine putting Jasmine in like an increasingly elevating, suffocating
That's misogynist.
bottle of sand that's going to kill her. Imagine doing that.
And the outfit she was wearing in the end of the cartoon. Like there's some risque stuff they put her in.
Yeah. Well, and then also the thing that's totally different. The lava scene in the original when they're trying to escape is much more dramatic than the new one.
And it's way longer and more fun.
Yeah,
And you know what?
And
One thing
more fun, dangerous, scary. You don't know what's going to happen.
It's a bigger cave.
Yeah,
And one thing I didn't like, he's touching all those coins when he's climbing up.
Yeah, I was very upset
I was like,
about
that's
that.
stupid. They don't,
No, that was the whole point.
Thank you for reminding me.
And I thought, you know what? That would have been better if they would have had coins everywhere.
Well,
and you had to figure out, how am I going to get this lamp? I can't touch all these coins.
And they totally.
You know what I mean?
And here's the biggest.
Wouldn't that be funny?
The biggest
think of funny ways of him trying to get to places.
Well, and then the biggest part was that Abu, for one, Abu is just a nothing character in the new movie. He's not even a character because they wanted it to be a realistic
What a
monkey.
chimp!
But think of in the new one, they do all the setup of like, no, Abu, don't touch anything, don't touch anything, don't touch anything, and then when he goes off, in this one, it's just like this random thing on the ground. Oh, I touched it. But in the old one, it's like, whoa, look at that one.
Yeah.
Like they make a big deal of like this huge ruby that he is irresistible. Like it's the little things like that when we talk about that it's so tight. Like
at the end, with
yeah, we get it.
We get it.
5'8", and Aaron's opinion's wrong.
What? I gave it a 4. A 4.5.
4-4.
4.3.
4-3. For free.
So before we go, we're gonna so next week we're gonna do Godzilla King of the Monsters. It's gonna be a really awesome episode. And then right after we'll have some more announcements for PopCon and stuff. And definitely tune in next week. And also please go follow all of our channels because we're gonna have some announcements for PopCon. But before we go, I think we're gonna I don't know. Someone's feeling very different.
Aaron,
Ben, do you have something for us?
can you set the tone?
Elevate me. Yes, I will set the tone.
How about this? Oh, yes. Bring it down now. I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your eyes, take you wonder by wonder, over, sideways, and under, on a magic carpet ride, a whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew. But when I'm way up here, it's crystal clear that now I am in a whole new world with you. Take us out.
Take it.
I can't sing Jasmine's parts 'cause they're too. Jasmine's parts are really